Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us in this webinar discussing augmented and virtual reality and the impact potential in the credit union space as it's related to improving members' and employees' financial health. In partnership with MDC, this three-part webinar series examines new technologies and their impact on credit union operations, their members, their employees, and how these innovative models will improve the overall state of financial health and well-being across America. Financial institutions of all sizes are constantly looking for new opportunities to engage with and better address the needs of their members. As futuristic as AR and VR applications may sound today, they will soon be commonplace and will offer credit unions a new and engaging platform to not only connect with members, but empower them with better and timely financial information. My name is Brenton Peck, and I'm thrilled to be leading this project work with MDC and the Foundation. As the pandemic, the political environment, and the current recession suck up all the airwaves, it's important for all of us to not lose sight of emerging technologies and their impact on our business, our employees, and our members. Financial Health Network, MDC, and the Foundation continue to take a future-forward approach through this project work, and we will continue pushing credit union leaders by helping them understand implications of technologies that are here, that are coming, that are relevant in today's environment as well as tomorrow's. I have the privilege of leading different projects at Financial Health Network with credit unions, banks, and fintechs. And I firmly believe that organizations like MDC and the Foundation that have engaged owners and supporters need to remain on the forefront of next-gen business models and practices. They are your beacons, the industry's North Star in this space. And I highly encourage each of you listening in to stay engaged with these leading organizations. Their project outputs, networks, and thought leadership are necessary to keep our businesses thriving. And we're really excited to share a piece of their efforts with you today. I will be joined today by my talented colleague, AJ, who has been a lead researcher on this project. For those who are not as familiar, the Financial Health Network is a national nonprofit with a mission to improve financial health for all. And today, we are really seen as a trusted advisor to different business leaders, policymakers, and innovators who are all committed to our mission and committed to improving the financial health of their members and communities that they serve. Through research, consulting, measurement tools, and different opportunities for cross-sector collaboration, we advance the awareness and understanding and proven best practices in support of financial health for all. And underneath all of the programmatic stuff that we do as an organization, we also lead a network of institutions. Our network includes all of the usual suspects in the financial services space, such as the big banks, processors, card networks, a host of different fintechs, including smaller ones like QCash and Spring4, and then larger ones like Intuit and PayPal. The network also includes over 20 credit unions and credit union organizations, and both are friends at the Foundation and MDC. Augmented and virtual reality have huge implications for the financial services sector. In a world where services are increasingly digital, and with the COVID pandemic forcing more remote work, these technologies will be increasingly relied upon. The mainstream use of AR and VR is becoming widespread. Some of the most significant entertainment and productivity apps over the last few years have incorporated both kinds of technology. Look no further to the booming success of Pokemon Go, Snapchat, and Facebook's VR platform, Oculus, which are all being used for a host of applications, ranging from medical training, video gaming to live NBA games. Credit unions have an opportunity to leverage these technologies and this technological wave in order to improve member and employee engagement and improve people's financial health. Here's what we have in store during our time together. Before we look at credit union opportunities and next steps to take, we'll examine the current state of both of these technologies, AR and VR. And for that, I'm thrilled to turn things over to my colleague, AJ, who has been the lead researcher for us on this project. AJ, over to you.
Hey there, everyone. To start, let's look at augmented reality, or AR. As its name implies, augmented reality enhances a real-life image by augmenting or overlaying information. AR enhances what you see through a viewer, which can be through your phone or specialized smart glass. Phone-enabled AR is the biggest use case now. Apps ranging from Pokemon Go to IKEA have used AR to great effect. Other mainstream applications range from education to real estate. And Mobility AR of Mexico lets users access the power of AR by superimposing property information. Major banks are already using AR. Some institutions let customers use AR to navigate and find local branches and ATMs. More advanced groups are piloting upcoming features like budgeting and data visualization. We'll explore the potential of those features later.
And here to discuss the potential that augmented reality technologies can offer credit unions is Benjamin Maxim of MSU Federal Credit Union.
So yeah, augmented reality has great implications for credit unions. I think we're still in its infancy. I know it's becoming a little bit more mainstream. In a way, a lot of institutions now have ATM locator, branch locator. You're in a major city, major market. You can lift up your phone and see, what are the locations down the street. Many people may have done that, to find a place to eat or something maybe more related to travel, and that's getting them more familiar with that aspect of AR. But there's a lot more you can do with it.
How AR applications are made isn't too different than most digital offerings. AR tools are plenty and are standardized across several platforms. For phones, Apple is the world's largest AI platform and is supported by a few software developer kits. AR Kit processes sensor data. Reality Kit is a high-level creator kit that implements 3D simulation and rendering, allowing virtual objects to appear in the real world. Google and other platforms have very similar offerings as well, with third-party developers like VisionX developing apps that allow users to place digital objects, such as office furniture, in their real-life environment. Beyond software kits and developers, other companies are investing in smart glasses. Glasses that are enabled with lenses that can emit information like a heads-up display. Some of you might be aware of products like Google Glass back in 2013. That elicited a lot of pushback due to its distracting design and concerns of privacy invasion. However, the likes of the Microsoft team is busy at work developing their own HoloLens product, a headset capable of gaming, virtual tourism, anatomy, and education. And despite the perceived failure of Google Glass, Google is still invested in the physical AR space with the recent acquisition of North, a Canadian smart glasses company. You can see a visual demo here. Onto VR or virtual reality. Whereas AR superimposes virtual objects and data over a real-world view, virtual reality emulates an entire virtual space. Users usually equipped with a headset and controllers interact with a computer-generated environment. VR is mostly popular among gaming and entertainment applications right now, but it's slated to become much more involved in manufacturing and education. For financial services, education is a significant use case. Not only could credit unions use the technology to allow members to better understand products and the state of their financial well-being, VR can also train employees and promote remote branch support.
Now, Sarah Leitz of Members Development Company will join us to discuss the potential of virtual reality.
Our environment right now is perfectly positioned to see tremendous growth in market acceptance around AR and VR. First, demand for digital services has accelerated because of COVID-19. Second, the implementation of 5G that's taking place across the country. Third, a lot of investment on the part of major players like Apple, Amazon, Facebook around the physical devices used to facilitate those interactions. Fourth, retailers are using this technology to enhance their shopping experiences. So people are experiencing AR, VR in other consumer interactions, and that expectation will naturally flow then to their financial interactions. And then finally, as AR, VR becomes more mainstream, prices on the physical devices will be expected to drop, making the technology a lot more accessible to the average consumer.
Here's a quick look at one banking application. The Italian bank, Intesa Sanpaolo, teamed up with a local university and VR provider to develop a training module around bank robberies. VR allows employees to vividly prepare and train for adverse scenarios such as this. The more immediate potential for VR is the introduction of remote member engagement. With VR helmets, members can connect with customer service to address questions and troubleshoot any issues. Fidelity Labs previously demoed a virtual reality experience featuring a digital avatar that can help investors oversee their portfolio and stock quotes. The virtual agent Cora incorporates text-to-speech and conversational bot capabilities to motivate better decision-making. A similar model can be adopted for credit union members. The VR space is very massive, with many available products and competing solutions. While the buy-in price for VR is costly now, we anticipate that this competitive field will drive down costs and up adoption rates. Major leaders include Facebook's Oculus, which first joined the field with an inexpensive development kit. Oculus is generally considered the most robust offering available on the market. At the core of these products is usually a chip developed by Qualcomm, the same tech provider at the head of the 5G revolution. Over the coming years, VR capabilities are only expected to improve. And here, we anticipate a boom in AR and VR use in the next few years. VR's global market value is predicted to reach $44.7 billion by 2024. The growth primarily is prompted by a lower cost and faster projected internet speeds and infrastructure, truly driving the reason why credit unions should always consider both technologies.
AR, VR can certainly help improve the financial health of members and employees. For example, giving greater access to financial education or making it easier to make payments without ever leaving the virtual world. And a common example too that we talk about is visualizing your future financial health. Saving money for retirement is really hard and it's not very rewarding in the short term, but if you can visually see 3 different scenarios of if you save a little bit or save right down the midpoint or save a lot, what your life will look like when you reach retirement age. I think that would be really beneficial for consumers and really incent them to save more.
Now that we've outlined what these technologies are, let's understand what makes them appealing to credit unions and your strategy. Data visualization, member support, and employee training are all key aspects and opportunities of AR and VR at your institution. So let's break these down. Perhaps the biggest advantage of either technology is the ability to help members understand their financial status visually. Like we pointed out earlier with the Fidelity Labs Cora demo, these innovations allow a member to view data and abstract concepts in a more seamless and engaging manner. Potentially, something as simple as an AR-enabled app can show members an account overview, what they've spent, and how to budget responsibly. As members spend, they could receive reports and recommendations based on their activities. By empowering members with more data, smarter decisions are expected to follow, ultimately strengthening credit unions and members' financial health. Consider this to be the shift going from 2D imagery, such as what you might find in a standard account statement these days, to something that's more 3-dimensional and something that your members can engage with. Apps and concepts are being developed and deployed all over the place without the fanfare. Whether it's a credit card shown on this slide or something a bit more robust, such as the use of buildings to help visualize how high your assets are climbing. these applications are only going to continue growing. Taking it a step further, we see an opportunity for AR and VR applications to help members empathize with their future selves. Imagine an app that can use predictive data to help members visualize themselves, advising and enabling the behavior changes necessary to live a fruitful and rewarding life down the line. Somewhat of a choose your own adventure game. If I, Brenton, saves X dollars per month, I'm set for this type of retirement. If I don't, here is what my future looks like.
A lot of people are focused on budgeting and improving their financial situation. I think, there's some applications such as, visualizing, if you go down this path, what would that look like for you? That make it a little bit more into the VR portion, but, taking a look at what you become, as you make different decisions, and it changes, similar to what happens in, a Snapchat filter, it changes your appearance. So I think that's another way that people are becoming more familiar with AR is through things like Snapchat and Instagram and other areas that allow you to change your picture and try and change your appearance based on that. Another way is to literally look at the data and see it in different ways. So tie it to your interests. So looking at budgeting, saving towards buying your first car. And there's the car theme to it, and then as you get closer, the car can move down something, or you can see yourself moving closer to the car or something like that. I've seen applications of this, and this may be more on the VR side, but you take like a pizza, and based on how you're doing things with your budget, you see how big of a slice each part of your budget gets of the pizza. That kind of helps bring a visual to it. Some applications I've seen out in the industry, not necessarily credit union, but just kind of financial services in general. People are thinking, and I think credit unions could learn from this. A lot of what the focus is bringing in, we focus on loans and we focus on mortgages and different loans, but we don't always focus on, what is the item that those loans are going towards. So I think it's Capital One that has, and I think there's some others that have an AR app where you can go to the dealer and you can hold the phone up over the car you're looking to purchase, and you get a lot of the details related to it.
There are huge opportunities for credit unions to leverage AR, VR as part of their overall digital strategy. For example, improving access to members. So think about virtual ATM transactions or virtual visits to branches. They can offer memorable and engaging experiences. For example, bringing digital banking to life using vivid 3D imagery. They can create tailored, personalized offers on their products and services. And they can certainly make it easier for consumers to do business with the credit union. For example, linking real estate home tours directly to mortgage applications. And they can even streamline support channels. I think that's a really easy internal win for the credit unions themselves.
When laying out the opportunities that we see for credit unions with AR and VR platforms, we thought about feasibility, viability, and utility from both the member and the credit union perspective. I think there's both engagement and business improvement available if we think about AR and VR platforms in this context. Members could, for example, receive more support through these type of technologies. Current AR applications can help members better locate ATMs and branches. Virtual reality can bring member support faster and with a similar engagement level that's found during in-person interactions. Under AR and VR, the branch and the member dynamics are going to change. Instead of going into a physical branch to conduct your personal finance business, members might very well remain in the privacy of their own homes and connect virtually to an advisor or an AI assistant to discuss their financial health and the behaviors that they can change to improve it. As an example, Florida credit union GTE Financial unveiled a virtual world to its members that's accessible 24/7 to help members understand different products and understand how their financial well-being stacks up to the benchmark population. A project like that would be augmented with a VR equipment headset. But considering where the market is heading, we think that credit unions need to be ready to deepen its support for members. But as mentioned earlier, a simulation centered around something like a bank robbery or another crisis can help employees prepare for the worst by putting themselves in the shoes of somebody who's living through that. Examples continue to populate, particularly given the changing nature of our work. Ultra Federal Credit Union in Wisconsin has additional branches outside of their state footprint. For new employees, the credit union defaulted into bringing team members up to headquarters for different training. However, through a pilot program with Avtex in 2020, Ultra can now promote the same training and situation analysis remotely via virtual reality headsets.
For credit unions, I think there's great opportunity for kind of on the employee side for kind of education, onboarding, compliance. So you can have an app that looks at a document and tells you all the key pieces, gives you kind of that pop-up video style. This is what this means, and that could help improve the onboarding of employees. Data visualization in the sense that you could look at different trends or metrics that the credit union cares about in a different way and provide a lot more detail than you can provide on a single screen or a single sheet of paper. And then looking at credit union AR for our members, I think there's a lot of implications for financial wellness.
It should be understood that AR and VR is a natural progression from what we used to deem as mobile-first banking. Members are increasingly seeking experiences that offer easier access to view and manage their accounts, and the interfaces provided by AR and VR will enhance the mobile app experience itself. Of course, there are plenty of risks involved. Adoption is still maturing. The market is currently fragmented with several options, and for many organizations, the barrier to entry is too high. But with due time, costs should shrink, as witnessed during mainstreaming of smartphones and PCs over the years. We think that AR and VR and the different applications is the next frontier of the technology revolution. For those interested in what AR and VR has to offer the credit union and its members, and understand how it fits into the mission of promoting financial health and well-being, you can be prepared a few different ways. First, it's most important to understand what your current digital offerings are and how AR and VR could plug in. It may not always look like a priority for members today, but we also want to be prepared for further adoption from both of our members and businesses at large. Second, research and find third-party organizations that can enable these type of technologies. There are plenty of examples out there, and lots of VC money is being thrown at different AR and VR platforms in hopes of hitting a grand slam. We list a number of potential partners in the comprehensive brief, but we encourage each of you listening in to keep a pulse on what's happening in the AR and VR space. Not only are there many startups in this space, but other avenues, different sectors like higher education, healthcare, employers, are already deep in the AR and VR game. And finally, we encourage you all to understand the different use cases that may be available with this new technology. It's not going to look like traditional banking in the future. So I'd ask yourself, would your employees benefit from a particular training simulation that could be enabled through an AR or a VR headset? How can your members use AR to improve their financial well-being? Are they already using AR and VR platforms? And is this just another one that they need to adopt? There are a number of different use cases that have already been developed that showcase the power of AR and VR, and there will likely be plenty more to come over the coming years. We want to thank you, thank MDC, thank the foundation again for supporting this important project. Amidst all of the noise in our world today, we need to keep our eye on the future of financial health, leveraging these emerging technologies. For additional questions, thoughts, and comments, please reach out to myself or AJ. But thank you all so much and enjoy what's left in the day.